People see Florida, dead heat. Nevada, dead heat. And everyone says, the race is tightening. Tightening, or tightening in a way that's a surge for Trump and a comeback path, or tightening in a way that, okay, we live in the United States of polarized America. This is pretty natural.
The latter.
Yeah.
Nevada is sort of become the new Florida in that you've got these tight contests, and Democrats will tell you any chance they get that polling out there is pretty bad because it doesn't account properly for Hispanics, among others. Florida being tight, I mean, look, the sun came up today, and the Pope's still Catholic. That's the way it works. So we're just going to have to
It was the closest state between Obama and Romney was Florida.
Right.
Ohio was also very close. North Carolina went back and forth. The states that, if you put that map back up, the states that are gold, that are toss-up states, are the states that we always come down to in the final week. So in one regard, you could say, again, Trump's in a better position today than he was last week. But last week, he was in an incredibly deep ditch of his own digging because of that Access Hollywood tape and then the women coming forward. Now, if you're Clinton, you're still in a commanding position, but as she just said there, you better be careful.
Well, and if you look at this time 4 years ago, it was really a much tighter race. It was supposedly within a margin of error race, and then you saw what happened in the very end. For Clinton, the last couple of weeks, as the sort of groping accusations took hold, the big fear inside her campaign was this complacency issue, right? That her support, either her real supporters or like her, whatever, I'll go with her, supporters figured this thing was done and maybe they don't have to show up. The sort of flip side of the complacency argument is that as things appear to tighten, it helps them to make their case against complacency.
May actually help her in an odd way if people start talking it's a closer race. And she's been focusing, Ryan, almost exclusively on going to, A, the battleground states, the ones that are always close in the end, but B, the ones that have early voting, and they're open. They're trying to win the election today, not on November 8th.
Bank as many of those votes as you can to make Election Day turn out a little bit easier. I mean, I think the best indicator this week, aside from any of the polls of where this race is that Mike Pence yesterday was in Utah. Right.
And Donna Brazile is in Utah today.
A state that hasn't voted for a Democrat since 1964, I believe. The map that you just put up, I believe Trump has to win all of those toss-up states. The ones that
even if he wins them all, it's not enough. We'll get it.
New Hampshire. He still needs several others. So he's got to sweep those. The tightening in Florida, yes, it's tightened in that Bloomberg poll yesterday, but before that, it has been extremely consistent with a 2 to 3 point Hillary Clinton lead. It will come down to the wire, but as you said in the opening, it's gone from impossible to improbable.
Impossible to improbable. And if you talk to Republicans in those states where there's battleground settle races, you go to North Carolina, you go to Florida, you go to Ohio, you go into Nevada, and most of them tell you they think if it's close, Clinton will win at the end because she has more money in the bank in the final days and she has a superior campaign organization, nuts and bolts. Another way you know Donald Trump knows he's losing, he's suddenly doing interviews with networks other than Fox News. He talked to our Dana Bash yesterday when he was in town. Today he's on Good Morning America with his wife Melania. Listen here, the conversation George Stephanopoulos asking about what was it like between Donald Trump and Melania Trump when all these women came forward and said Donald Trump inappropriately kissed them or touched them.
They were lies, and as I said before, all the accusations, they should be handled in a court of law.
So you believe the lawsuit should go forward?
Yes, I believe that. And because to accuse somebody without evidence, it's very hurtful and it's very damaging and unfair. And but honestly, do we still need to talk about that? Let's talk about jobs. Let's talk about secure our border. That's what American people want to hear about it.
I think people just to finish, I can't apologize for something that I didn't do.
Interesting there. Number one, again, proof that Donald Trump understands that he's doing mainstream media. He's bringing his wife on with him to try to soften up his image some. He understands the dynamic of the race just by being there. You know that. But number two, first, Melania Trump saying, yes, she agrees her husband should sue his accusers, something he said repeatedly on the campaign trail in recent days, and his staff has told him to stop saying, stop talking about that. But then she does the pivot even better than Donald Trump. Let's talk about jobs. Let's talk about the things the American people want to talk about. Maybe he should bring her out in the campaign more.
Which begs the question, where has Melania Trump been? Where she could potentially have helped stem the bleeding that Donald Trump has been going through since these women have come out and accused him. She did come out, she did do an interview a week or two ago. However, it's so late at this point to have her sitting next to her husband talking. Why wasn't this done immediately? And it's a question that we haven't really gotten a good answer from the campaign.
Hey, I also think when your posture, which I guess it has to be, is I can't apologize for something that I didn't do, you are just taking off the table a whole bunch of voters for whom if you addressed it in a more nuanced way, perhaps you could bring them back into the fold. What I didn't do encompasses potentially as every single accusation that's been made, and they're a completely different range of accusations, some of which seem to have more evidence behind them than others. When you say I can't apologize for something I didn't do, what you're saying is I have nothing to say to any of the people who I could still persuade for whom this is the pivotal issue.
Right, and he says that in that interview taped at the New Trump International Hotel up the street from us here in Washington. At the event yesterday, he gave Newt Gingrich an attaboy for essentially getting into a public fight with Megyn Kelly, who Megyn Kelly was simply saying the conduct of people running for president is newsworthy, and we will discuss it. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.